What do the worlds live for?
Because this is beautiful.
Somewhere out there is the world of Professor Bajurol. Everything is familiar in it, and this world is called the Apparent One. The time for the true world has come.
One may drown not only in water, but there's no need to do it anywhere.
Is the apartment number 17 or 14?
Seems like this is the one.
I think you were flooded at 11.
I can't even see the floor.
I'm glad to congratulate you. Guess how?
Thank you. How?
Just as apparent as your eye sees me standing in front of you. That's how.
As if a real tsunami. Who are you?
A plumber. Your consciousness has reached level 56. You're entitled to the award. Don't delay, just accept it. Here is a little key.
And where? Where can I receive it, Mr. Ragcutter?
Plumber, not in here, so that you won't drown.
There's only Drake stuff around here. Where should I climb to?
Planet 56. It's very close. Something about 90 parsecs.
This won't be easy.
Flutter into the corridor and bounce up the stairs.
That's an interesting catchphrase you've got. Is it actually possible to get there up the steps?
Even without a jacket.
All the crowd is getting the heck out of Antonionis.
Shall we play a guitar riff? Let me pull a couple of strings.
What was it, Mr. Moon?
Plumber. That has been an act of putting an emphasis on the event. Go for it. Let me go. Magazine Allspice, Anatoly Polybagov. Tell me, did you feel that the award would be given to you? Not to you alone, but to someone of a group? Newspaper, not a piece of paper. Ned Udy's Pipetskers. In your opinion, can a cause be ahead of an effect? Ivan Dilov, the first banana. Mr. Harvey, what is your opinion about bipedal creatures? Are you related to them? Jimun Jibao, Wan Chun Li, Sirlitz Bayonin Ba?
Let's suppose that. And who are you?
I'm the landlord from the managing company, Karma. Don't forget, Mr. Harvey, that you haven't paid the remainder of the rent. It is moved to the following month despite your new level 56.
I'll pay back when I return. You'd better drain the water out.
The drainage procedure is according to the plan. You all have great fun.
Dear passengers, the train will take everybody. Don't worry, there are 2 directions.
What are you looking at, mister?
Is this the line of award-winning optimists?
Maybe, but I believe that the gloom of the oblivion is awaiting for us there.
How? There is the metal-coated train for everybody.
Everybody got their own path, even though we're heading in the same direction.
Everybody got their own way, but the path must be mutual and inspiring.
That would do as well, but why is everybody trying to go through along the roads that break their legs?
As they wish, but the gloom of the non-existence is impossible in our dialogue.
Why?
The universe is infinite. In the infinity of existence, nothing can be present inside the non-existence.
How come? Paraphrase.
The endlessness of existence doesn't leave anything that isn't a part of it.
Gentlemen, this dude claims that everything is in existence and that there is no non-existence.
Attention, a concilium, not dead souls yet, is about to begin.
This is utter rubbish. I'm gone is possible only for materialism.
To be precise, for atheism. What am I saying? The immortality of a soul implies the eternal existence.
Hang on with the concilium. I reason differently. I express my thoughts differently. Say you'd like to think that you didn't like to exist from the beginning, that you didn't appear in this world, then all the difficulties of life will fall off, and so on.
Cigarette?
You won't mess with my mind. This is impossible, because the endlessness of the existence simply obliged every little particle of the universe to exist and develop, and endlessness of the existence excludes the non-existence in principle. Boy, if one begins talking about it, then the meaning vanishes just like a jellyfish dissolves under the sun.
Dear marathon runners, the concilium has been ended due to the indefiniteness of doctrines.
Who needs the doctrines? One must feel with his heart. With the heart! Attention, now we are near 56-1. And yes, this is the psychic, by the way.
Hello.
Go ahead, it's straight down the road.
How do you know?
I see you're taking a walk.
I'm on my way to receive my award.
The Earth is flat. Don't even try to whinge.
Does it have something to do with the award?
Check it against the highway, which is flat.
But during the lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow is circular. This completely refutes the flat Earth theory.
Excuse me, I am unable to embrace this. What about these sun rays diverging right from the clouds?
The rails also go straight into the horizon without any signs of the curvature. This is called perspective.
Yes, there was a complete no-brainer.
He is saved. He was sailing in a container called enameled, cast iron vertical sided bathtub.
Hello.
I must sail across the ocean.
Who are you?
I am nobody. I am someone in the ocean. I am completely alone in the ocean.
I have seen you before.
I have already sailed across the channel on an ironing board.
Are you a voyager?
I draw books.
You are a traveler.
Humans are as far from each other like stars in the universe.
No. There is mutual aid, compassion.
You don't understand me, and I don't understand you.
It's him again. He's stressing out reality.
Oh, I have left you there, haven't I? How did you end up here?
They decided to split me in two so that we won't see each other for too long.
You are not speaking English right now. I don't understand.
What if the issuing rate of your award is directly proportional to the roundness of an abstract water bag?
Then this is a logical arbitrariness, and it will inevitably lead to absurdity.
It is the people who choose for themselves places at cemeteries and family nests, isn't it?
Well, this is some non-stop fun.
Fine, you won in this buffoonery.
Mister, why is there a table with the word charlatan hanging above you?
It wasn't me who hang it, bro.
The first essence.
Hi,
Hi,
I am pre-human.
how do you do?
I am the first essential elemental one, the first essence.
I get the statement now.
I will try to accompany you to the pickup point of, what is it, the award? Please take into account that I'm very unstable and can decay.
Let's cut the chatter. Is it the 56th planet?
Aha, but this is not the 56th planet per se, but this is planet 56.
And what is the difference?
56th is the number of the warehouse, and 56 is its own name.
One of childhood images. Cosmos is something placed inside of a black cylinder hat on someone's head, which is inside another, bigger cylinder hat. And like that to infinity. Never-ending, embodied cylinder hats of the worlds.
It is dark in here. Somebody must have been hiding.
This planet is being formed. We have just buzzed around due to the standstill, but everything goes according to plan.
These stars are walking over the screen.
These are not stars, but primary atoms from which the material of the universe is being weaved.
Such a theory does look modern indeed.
A combination of these atoms forms the matter. At first, it's the thinnest one, then a thicker one, making it from rough combinations of primary atoms. You live in such roughest combination, which is the physical world.
And what about you?
I am a filler of the first kind, the essence for mental worlds. The mental world consists of me and is called the fiery one.
This is just a special day today. Are you talking about the atoms of molecules?
These turned out to be specific details as I figured it out. There are 7 states of the material of the universe. The atoms and objects of your physical world are the 7th, the lowest state, which is the roughest one. I belong to the fifth one. It is available to you when you think with imagery, since everything immediately obtains thought form.
Does this mean that when I imagine something in my head, it exists for real?
It can grow feeding on patterns of the mind, since to imagine means to create, and it's not a soap bubble. The main thing is to imagine something intelligent, kind, and eternal. And here is your point.
The award pickup point?
And perhaps a drop-off point. The point can't figure out whether it should be a pickup point or a drop-off point because of your turmoils.
You know, today somebody told me, without mouth flapping, that I won the award and I had to dispatch to your planet urgently. It's about 100 parsecs away. Do you believe that I couldn't have had turmoils after hearing that?
Yes, without subtraction.
The second essence, the same one, from the fiery world.
I am a machine instrumental paleface of the second kind.
Didn't you want to say essential elemental paleface, did you?
Yes. Today I sell hot dogs with pickles, fried onion, and mustard. Look, there was a time when I renovated my booth into the center of dispositions.
Here is your point.
Yes, excuse me, the point. I also did fortune telling very successfully, as well as the past telling along with uncovering family secrets. But I couldn't help it and went back to selling sausages.
What had happened to the first machine instrumental one? Wasn't he just here, was he?
He broke into pieces after he spent all the fuel, because everything changes. The first one got evolved.
I need the pickup point to receive the award as I planned.
I understand. But there is this thing about the awards. Today they are available and tomorrow they are out of stock. Your awards rests on higher levels of development.
In time?
Both in time and space, and in development. To make a long story short, further ahead.
And I should get to the same place where the first machine instrumental one wandered into?
There and even further. You need to climb above yourself.
Like Baron Munchausen?
Attention! Fasten some seatbelts, unbuckle the other ones, and cut off all the rest and throw them away as old rags.
Any creature in the universe undergoes an evolutionary path, gradually changing from the machine instrumental one of the first kind into,
The essential elemental one.
into it. changing into a human.
You've got some game room here. The first one promised to bring me to the pickup point, but he vanished.
He boiled over, and now he's just a memorial.
The third essence, lower level subordinate than the other two.
I am the third one in this portrait.
You all look the same, even as a silhouette. You succeed each other as soap bubbles. How many of you are there in total? 2 stallions and a girth?
When we drove by on a motorcycle, there were 3 of us on that banger. After that is a turning point in the evolution itself.
Hope this is not a contribution. Stay stable and cut the chatter about all these motorcycles. At which number in a series am I?
This is a subsequent process. At first, there are 3 levels of the elemental essence. In other words, 1, 2, 3. You are the 7th one.
Talk without wavering.
During these 3 stages of the essence, the forthcoming creature develops the ability to flesh out into an organized form. We are learning, and therefore we are unstable.
You are unbelievably agile.
Then goes the turning point, mineral stage. While the forthcoming creature is in the rock state, it acquires the rigidity of the shell.
Where are my painkillers? Was a man a hunk of rock? This smells like pseudoscience.
It had been long ago, and it was before the state of human acquisition. A new stage of plants begins after the mineral one.
I am confused. It's a pity that plumber isn't here. I would slap his ear for his inventions.
Here I exist as if disembodied. I belong to the 6th state of universal material, that is the world of emotions and wishes. I fill this world with myself, and I serve as a Play-Doh for it, just like those 2 decayed geraniums for the mental one.
I wish you to have more marriage ceremonies.
Almost. All your wishes and emotions. Even dogs are running somewhere sometimes when sleeping. They're shaking their paws and whining. Did you see it? This is what happens to me.
So it turns out that a man is fooling around in 3 worlds?
Yes, that is in the mental world, the world of wishes, and in the physical one.
What about the dogs?
Due to a lower level of development, they're only in the physical world and in the world of wishes.
Many humans just like dogs, without any kind of spells applied.
Harold, is that you?
Who are you?
I was brought here. I am the Herald. I got a title.
Let's stop the rotation. I am unarmed.
My presence here is unscripted, but I've already been loaded. Just like a body appendix, it seems to be present, and then it isn't. It seems to be needed, and then it isn't. My appearance is a whim of the architect.
Your message sounds to me just like a CEO would delegate it.
The message is from the architect, and it's addressed at enemies. Are you an enemy?
Is it this scary as the gloom?
Enemy of mine. You've got only one way, and that is to become my copycat.
Is that all? What will happen when an enemy becomes his copycat?
He will follow him.
What for?
This success is invaluable. Follow me. How wonderful this sounds. Only if the heart embraces it, but not the mind.
The enemy is following him all the time anyway, not falling behind the divers.
Having a wood stick in the wheel, wrench in the cog, is one thing. Using it to support the table is another.
And what will happen if he's out of the picture? He won't become a copycat.
Well, who cares how many stones got stuck at the bottom of the ocean?
Harold is entitled to announce.
What is this whole way from the essence to humans for?
If I turn it into a joke, in order to avoid the path to Australopithecus, the universe is a conglomerate of states of consciousness, from the most primitive and almost invisible one to the highest ones. The consciousness is developing slowly through all sorts of forms: a stone, a tree, a dog, a human. In order not to stay as an amoeba forever, one must develop his consciousness.
Isn't it possible to be without a form? A klutz? A slab, is it?
The form acts as an expression of the consciousness. Without it, what would we do to live in the imagination?
So where does the consciousness have its supremacy?
There's no limit to perfection.
A rock won't fall on the head just like that.
Stop. Don't hit the gates.
Oh, and who are you?
I am a rock.
Nice to meet you. You are the turning point, the mineral, as I understand.
You won't find a thing if you go to the left. And I didn't tell you even a small lie. You'll find a damn thing if you go to the right. It will find you if you go back.
So what shall I do if it's a trap on all sides?
Of course, straight along the glide curve. The keeper lady is waiting there for you.
I hope she is, the inspirational one. It is strange that no one told me about her before.
Only I talk about her as chrysoberyls to stress the power. It would have been strange to hear about her out of the mouths of fruit yogurts like those three jackasses.
Oh no, they are good lads. But to say the truth, they are somewhat flimsy, as if made of plaster.
They will be wallowing there for a long time, like a jelly.
And who is this inspirational one? Is she Goldilocks?
She is a woman.
And
Have you got an access card?
there are only 2 coins to count, Solneshnik and Dvurublovik.
Come on in. This is all your feet.
The witness of the car accident is now the car accident witness.
Remember, collective joy after depart is expecting us.
Ah, you again. So what is this event about?
Paramount importance. Be advised that not everyone is having fun there. It all depends on obedience, strict following the rituals.
Speak clearer, Mr. Masqueradov.
It is all very simple. Indulgence is possible. You make a contribution and all your debts are washed away.
Whom shall I pay the coins to?
Pay me.
I got it.
I'm an official dealer. I got my own accredited ministry.
I will think about it.
Don't forget you got one life and let's not live small.
So there can be ways to work around it? Does this mean if I'm a sinner and paid you, then everything will be washed away?
Yep, and you managed not to provoke him to anger.
This is some kind of farce. This is not how the universe works.
I told you that the earth was flat, he.
This is utter claptrap. Don't confuse me.
Okay, there is also short-term repentance.
Okay, let's assume that I had been a thief and even a murderer all my life. Then, a day before death, I repented suddenly. Repented for real. And then what? Straight to heaven? To paradise?
Yep, want to pull one's hair out.
No. Something doesn't feel right about it.
Everything is fine. You just do the contribution. The rest is none of your concern anyway. I'm connected via a regular mobile network. I will sort things out.
Okay, I'll drop by once I gather some sins.
At least buy candles.
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Hello.
How do you do? The consciousness develops plasticities of its forms at the new level by connecting it with its earlier acquired stability. Plants are this new stage of evolution.
I don't quite get how it fits in time distribution. A year for the stone stage, a year for the plant stage, and then the human?
No, it'll last longer. Uncountable ages for a stage in its own planets.
I need a stool to sit down. A human, then.
Of course. Wouldn't it result in doubts in 21st century, would it?
Reincarnation in circles round and round. Some dealer was fooling me with this. One gets born, lives his life, dies, and that's it. After that is the eternal joy only. Hold on a second. Where's the evidence?
There's no confusion. For instance, the abilities, intellectual, and moral qualities. Everyone's got them different. This is a result of collecting the experience from earlier reincarnations.
Is the experience preserved without instigations by parents?
Both the experience of the growth of consciousness. Otherwise, the universe doesn't make any sense. And the eternal resurrection is nonsense.
And how to crack the genetic code? There are several dynasties of scientists or doctors and such.
Genetics is a feature of a race, a nation, a certain group. A consciousness translating into existence may require consonant conditions. It is much harder to become a musician in a family of cobbler, but a genius can be born even in a humble family, and another way around.
You people are something. And where is the spirit in all of this?
Consciousness is with spirit.
I can't even ask about the awards amidst all of this.
The architect issues the rewards. He is scheduled by the end of the journey.
The dill smells pleasant.
Hello, I am Dill.
Hi, Biotope. Are you from Kingdom Plante?
Aha, and without any postures?
Well, and how do you find it?
Seems alright.
So how can you speak?
You will figure out some information from me on your own. This is the wish of the architect.
Are you present in the world of wishes?
There is not in our existence and not in the fiery one. The consciousness of a plant is rather ephemeral, incredibly subtle, and it is sensations.
What is the next stage of metamorphosis after yours?
The animal one, plasticity, acquired earlier, and the stability of the form are being accumulated. Later, at a proper time, animals capable of individualization transition to a qualitatively new level. Dogs, dolphins, elephants, they are all getting close to it.
Does it mean that we belong to chimpanzees?
Oh, no, this is a mistake.
What do you mean by that?
Excuse me, I need to get into the salad.
Anthropomorphic anthropogenesis of the 48th order.
I hope you understood everything is a fantastic piece of nonsense they got here. Especially this dill, which is in the salad right now. The thing is, a man came from a monkey, because there's no other way around it. And there couldn't have been another way.
You got carried away again. What's the evidence?
The direct evidence is in the remains of creatures in fossils. Besides, the similarity is confirmed through anatomical, genetic, behavioral, embryological, and other common features. Only both a monkey and a human got their gene responsible for the synthesis of vitamin C disabled. It is active for the rest of the mammals.
Yes, dealer, you are informed. You are speaking very smoothly.
But still, he did not provide the evidence of the origin of a human from a monkey.
What?
You claimed the similarity. Get lost.
I did sniff the dill.
To add or to subtract? What is going on with this bloody monkey?
The fever about the monkey has ended. Everything is very simple. It took place at the dawn of the development of the human stage, in which, by the way, a creature obtains the highest harmony of the form.
After plants and animals?
Yes, I'll tell you a brief version. A creature receives individuality starting from the human stage. It is able to think and love, self-sacrifice, and do a heroic deed. Human do not possess consciousness at the time when he, together with a female specimen, produced an ancestor of monkeys. Irresponsible human desecrates his status by lowering himself physically to the animal level.
Irresponsible?
Not all humans were gifted with understanding at once. For some time, some of them remained without the consciousness. They were narrow-minded. They had the biological status of a human, but they were still empty-headed.
Let's set the record straight. How could it be if, right now, it's been established that there are obstructions for such rough combinations? For instance, body rejection, genetics.
Yes, bad synthetics. The window of possibility gradually closed. Many, many centuries passed since then. The monkey changed as well. So did the human.
The dogs are howling at the moon. The cats gather in a circle. Dead light is shining as a memory of past years. You said that the stages of development, among other things, are also attributed to planets. Does it mean that we arrived from outside?
In a sense, your previous animal stage took place on a different planet.
Where were they from then? Could it be on a comet?
The moon is the mother of the Earth.
And who is on the moon right to now? And who is on the moon right to now?
There's nothing, and there's nobody on this piece of rock. The planet Moon gave up its water, gases, and energy to the new planet by shrinking in size. Now the moon is a cool junk, a corpse.
How did the transition take place?
The new planet was being formed as a nebula of a much larger diameter than the current size of the Earth. The hot nebula also embraced the moon, and this is why all of the water boiled over and transitioned to being a part of the new planet, along with the rest of chemicals.
7 Link.
Does this mean we came from animals?
No, that's incorrect. You have been on planet Earth as humans from the very origin. Now you can trace the links of the chain. 3 stages of the elemental essence, then minerals, plants, and animals, and the human as the 7th stage. Each one has its own duration. It would be wrong to say that one came from the other. A stage succeeds another one in development.
Would it be possible to say that the mysterious influence of precious stones or minerals is some kind of property that they bring with them after the elemental stages? In other words, from conscious worlds. And what about our current plants, animals?
They will be on future planets. This is a borderless flow of life in the universe. Basically, it is what determines our understanding of the infinity of cosmos.
Are there more stages after the seventh one?
Yes, there are.
The tea is cold again. Why is the kettle cold as well?
How do I know?
What about the Big Bang by physicists?
Every living being in the universe is subjected to periods of sleep and wakefulness. Also, the universe itself got such periods. The current universe is one of many in an infinite series that got no beginning and no end. The universe is eternal as a whole, and it got periods expanding and collapsing.
Does it breathe?
It breathes. The breathing out is the manifested life of uncountable worlds. The breathing in is the sleep, the temporal ceasing of visual life. Everything in the universe is built on analogy.
The sage proclaimed, "The luxury is haunting me. When will I repay all the debts?" Now, many people have surpassed the narrow-headed ones from the past in terms of filth, lies, murders, betrayals, sophistication in doing mean things to each other, etc.
But there is one significant difference. Whatever the narrow-minded people of these days do, they do it with full responsibility.
How's that?
Every conscious being produces a responsive action to any of its own actions, including even the most evanescent one. This is the cause and the consequence. It's called karma in the East. The responsive action can be either a beneficial one or the opposite. It depends on the behavior of the creature who produced it, i.e., the cause. The consequence is whoever is whining about, what did I get my suffering for? In this case, he must ask, what for? Himself in the first place.
God's punishment.
This is unbelievable rubbish.
Please explain.
God is not a grandpa with a beard. God is a ever-present principle.
A principle?
Yes, the principle. The planets orbit the stars according to it. The laws of physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, i.e., everything that men awkwardly found in form of science is the essence of the principle. It is also the golden ratio principle, the pi number, the Planck's constant, the speed of light, the length, the width, the height of space, and so on and so forth to infinity. A seed lying in the ground brings forth a spring according to this principle. According to the same principle, the seed creeps up and becomes a blossoming, beautiful rose. This is the principle according to which a man knows he's in love once he looked at somebody's eyes.
And what about the DNA of this growing seed?
The seed's DNA is a material manifestation of the principle.
Right now, it is perceived differently, in vain.
The servants of human churches personified this principle. They turned it into the idea of the creator of heaven and earth by downplaying it to a god-man. Such a god got already a certain character. He gets angry, he blesses, he punishes, but he can be easily appeased, especially if one brings gifts to his servants. In actuality, only the man is the master of his destiny, living in a universe that is based on the principle. One must ask none but himself why he or she is so unhappy.
One cannot escape his destiny.
Destiny is laid with human hands. One should say that. One cannot escape himself.
You make your bed, you lie in it, right?
Correct. We reap what we sow. And likewise, all ancient sayings talk about karma, or destiny. Call it whatever you want. Karma is like scales that are always trying to balance what's been given against what's been received. Such a balancing act can be redistributed from one reincarnation to the other.
A rake is an agricultural tool for raking and loosening the soil. And what happens next?
Until that conscious being understands with its heart that that's not what is allowed to be done, according to the ever-present principle of harmony, growth, and beauty, until it will get hit with a rap on the forehead from its own actions, until that conscious being understands all of this, it can't break through from the real of samsara, of reincarnations, which purpose is the same, to train him to be a human.
It is hard to imagine what awaits everybody who is consciously doing evil on Earth.
There's no need to imagine. Everyone gets exactly what they deserve at the proper time. Every human is his own destroyer and helper simultaneously.
So why are there so many heavily sick on Earth?
Random events, 124. This means randomness.
Look around. Look at nature. Everything is so harmonically built in the universe. Every atom is in its place. This manifests in everything from the sun to a firefly crawling in the grass. Random events? This is simply illogical.
Dices. I'm throwing the dices. It's a number rolled at random, isn't it?
No, there are hundreds or even thousands of conditions. The throwing power, the height, the angle of rotation of the dice, air resistance as a function of the angle, and so on and so forth. A distinct sequence of conditions. The same applies to a cup with coffee spilled on the floor or even stumbling on the street. There's no such thing as randomness in nature. What I'm trying to say is that it doesn't exist at all.
Perhaps.
Look wider and deeper. Every event in your life is not random. They are not random. They are a cause and an effect.
Let's go back to the cup with coffee. Did hand slip?
A human is a very complex system. It has the deepest and a multi-million intertwinings, a flow of liquids, nerve impulses, chemicals, electrostatic charges. And these are physical categories only. And energies? They are thoughts, moods, wishes, etc. The same huge number of external, visible and invisible impacts, sensible and not, instant and temporal. If only one could embrace all this complexity. Some rough thought is sent in space, abruptly and carelessly. A definite answer comes back. It may return as a cup with coffee spilled on your legs. Or perhaps it comes back as joyful news. It all depends on the power and the colour of initial dispatch from the source to which it returns. There's a song called There's No Way Out.
Fine, it didn't work out with the monkey. But look how this God principle cheated you. In actuality, it does not exist for you since it is just a principle. You are an orphan in the universe. Some are praying to strange gods. Others are melting toilet bowls from gold. The third ones cut each other's throats. The fourth ones, the fifth ones. And you? You either swim here on your own or join whoever you like.
There are others. They are moving forward. You are wrong about that it's all left to chance. Also, there are those who guide. They got those who cannot settle for golden toilet stool or meaningless existence.
Is that so?
Yes, there's the next stage after the human stage, superhuman. It is the beings from this higher stage who help us. To be precise, it helps those who don't deny the helping hands. This is simply deeply logical.
Do they hear people's prayers? Do you think they are so all-powerful?
When looking at the development gap between humans and previous stages, yes, one can conclude positively about the power of the superhuman stage. Eureka! I mean, it's a hierarchy.
What?
A hierarchy of beings in space without the end. Superiors help subordinates.
You need to bring your fever down with water. I've lost.
Quote, This bone is mine. Dear Keeper Lady, could you be so kind and tell me, who is this dealer psychic who has constantly encountered me during my journey?
Ah, that one. This is the Prince of the Earth.
The Prince of the Earth?
Yes, this is Devil.
You seem pretty calm about it.
An enemy is half defeated after he's been identified.
Yes, but he does not exist.
His greatest achievement is that he managed to insert that thought into a human. Thus, he is able to act in a more subtle way.
Who is he? What is his essence?
Once upon a time, young humanity was assisted in development with several superior beings, and he was one of them. One had to bear a huge power of the heart to stay away from any temptations and pride. Due to primitive man's imperfection, Devil failed to stay on the high level. He got jealous. He began a harmful fight against those he came with. This is how his ultimate downfall happened. He is a traitor.
So this is the origin of evil in the universe.
No, this is not exact, and it is wrong. The Prince of the Earth can tempt a human with the tricky means, trying to bind him to the Earth and suppress the development. But the human acts himself. Deliberate evil is not the law of cosmos. It's a local and temporal phenomenon.
Will it be over?
It will be over. Another question is who remains, and who will be thrown away, left for painful corruption as space junk. There had been a lot of commotion. There is almost no time left to repent.
There appear many cults on Earth, liars of all kind, robbers of the soul and the body and all that. How can one avoid their traps? How to discern their lies?
The leader of such gatherings always deems a fee. These prophets with checkbooks, loud chiefs during lavish parties.
Strange human-like beings depicted on objects found in different places on the Earth. There are hundreds of these findings, as well as pictures and even cave drawings. And besides, they are by different nations from all over the world. Sometimes such beings are referred to as nothing short of gods.
Correct. A primitive man perceived them like that. Young humanity really saw them as gods because of their comprehensive knowledge. And you have already guessed who they were.
Why do they allow that all sorts of disasters happen on Earth?
Cosmos is not an iron cage. A man got free will. A man can choose. He moves at will towards creation, mutual aid, helping others, kindness, and love. Or the man becomes Hitler himself by devastatingly falling into excruciating corruption. Another thing is that without the direction, the whole of humanity would have failed, not just once. Plato, Confucius, Buddha, Joan of Arc, Christ, Akbar, Saint Sergius of Radinaj.
Is the superhuman stage susceptible to the influence of karma the same way we are?
No.
Is excruciating decay hell?
Imagine a condition where you feel very bad morally, and there's nobody around who could offer a helping hand, and there's no glimpse of hope, and such a rainy day will never be replaced with the sunny one. You want to leave a room, but there's not even a door. You jump towards the window, but it turns into a wall. There's no opportunity to do anything, to change something. There's no logic behind what's happening. It's impossible to stop these tortures with death because it just does not exist. It has nothing in common with fear, just a horrible feeling of dread.
Do we inhabit the world of wishes and thoughts between reincarnations?
That's right.
I met essential elemental ones on the way to you. They were talking about the worlds that they filled in.
Even meaningless motions of your hand take place in space. The same holds for the rest of the universe. Everything got its place, or a world, including our wishes and thoughts.
They were talking to me about a thin world and the fiery world.
There are many phases of universal material. By analogy, with water that can be either as a liquid or as a piece of solid ice, or even as a gas like steam. The highest state, or the highest world, is referred to as the divine. In the absence of better title, then there is a rougher state called monadic. These two worlds are inaccessible for human understanding. Something is known about the following worlds, called the spirit world, and the intuitive world. The fifth and the sixth worlds are already accessible to humans, and they are called the fiery world and the subtle world. The final seventh, and the roughest sphere, is called the dense world. This is our physical world visible with eyes.
Does it mean that our thoughts and wishes exist in reality as well, since they are all worlds?
The thought is immaterial.
Inside the world of wishes?
It's a fantastic graveyard of human emotions.
And what about dreams?
It's not hard to guess based on what's been just told.
What is going to be further after that?
What is supposed to be a young spirit who has recently left the animal state, is unable to control his passions, his rough nature, only his ego, and never keeps quiet and persistent. I want exists from him. A human realizes there's another direction. Let me help you. After he develops further, then the collective good becomes the main note of living. Boundless creative development is further ahead, and after the human stage, And after the superhuman stage, and further on, there's no end. Borderless. The whole universe is open. Only your free will determines whether you're okay to go forward or not. Now, Mr. Harvey, we're approaching the place where the architect is.
Hi.
How are you? I am the architect.
So it was you who envisioned everything here?
I envisioned the decorations only and fill them with the narrative. For you. Essentially, I'm just a traveler like you.
I came for the award.
I express my hope that you understand the award has been received already.
My journey here was the award.
Knowledge is a precious award. It's possible to understand and do everything when one possesses knowledge. You won't get sucked into an ooze of delusion, stagnation, and slavery. It will be only you who will determine your way. The water has dried up in your apartment. Feel free to go home, Mr. Harvey.
Is everything that you've told me the truth?
The heart is faster than the mind. It will give you an answer.